Welcome. Hi, my name is Hsieh. I am the college and career counselor at Catalina Foothills High School. And today we're doing a special awesome interview with one of our former Flinn scholars, Seth Rojas. And Seth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Falcons. Um, my name is Seth. I graduated last year. I'm now at U of A, and I'm a computer science major. I'm actually looking to add a second major right now, so that's in the works right now. I'm from Tucson, so I know the town and everything, and um, I'll touch on later why I went to U of A. But
Yeah,
I love Tucson. I love everything about it. I'm close to home, so it was the right choice for me.
awesome, awesome. Well, you kind of jumped into that first question, so tell us about yourself.
Yeah. So, well, I'm from Tucson. I like to play basketball.
Nice.
Like when I'm not doing school, I like to play basketball. I love the game of basketball. I like to read as well. I like to cook with my mom. I'm not a great chef, but I'm all right.
Yeah.
But ever since I was little, I like to code, and so that's how I got into software and STEM. And then at Foothills, I was able to really find what I like to do. What I like to do. So
Nice. Who's your basketball team?
on my basketball team, I I like the NBA in general, but for sure, just U of A basketball. I love U of A
Okay.
sports, everything. I always keep. I've gone to the game since I was little. So
Nice. That's awesome. Right on. Right on. Why did you apply for the Flint?
yeah, so I knew I was gonna stay in Tucson. Like that was pretty much what my mind was made up. And so my goal was to apply for all all the scholarship money I could. If there was a scholarship, I applied for it because if I was going to go and stay, I was going to pay as little as possible. And I know people who their goal was to go to like a top university, but I didn't apply pretty much anywhere else. I was kind of set on Flinn, and that really helped me out because I was just able to work on my um, on the stuff that was needed for Flynn. So like all my essays and for all the prep that I needed. So it worked out, and I'm here today. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? Worked out pretty well for you. All right. So who are the most effective helpers for your Flint application?
Yeah. So first off, I would say my mom. Um, so I was actually on a vacation, and I started working on my application then, and I remember I went to the theme park, and then I come back at the hotel, and I work on my application, and my mom was right there, and we just like work on it and chat on it. And um on on the road trip there, like I was just chatting with my mom, like, hey, what should I be doing? Because what my goal was, like, I knew what I wanted to say about myself. Like, I've done these things, I've done this and that, but like
Mhm.
there's these prompts that were like a little bit weird for me. So my goal was to, like, how can I take this thing and match it with this prompt to like show us a certain thing about me. So my mom, she helped me that she helped me out with that. Then
Nice.
then my brother, he read over my essays, and he's the only person who'll tell me, yeah, this is not good, bro. Like he's the only guy who'll keep it real with me, which I
Yeah.
definitely respect, and I need that,
Right.
because there's certain things that just I shouldn't have said. And so in the end, it worked out. My mom and my brother really helped me out, and my mentor for robotics, she also helped me out in general. Like I was able to talk to her, like what should I be talking about in my time in robotics, like
Mm.
what should I highlight, those kind of things. So find
Yeah.
somebody in your life who you can trust, somebody you can talk to, because those are the people who will help you out in the end, and will give you the real stuff.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. What activities and extracurriculars did you do while at Catfoot?
Yeah. So my biggest thing was first First Tech Challenge Robotics. I did that for 4 years, and I was the president of that my senior year. And then I did first Lego League Robotics. I was a coach for that. So I worked with some of these students, and yeah, pretty much I was a coach for robotics. Then I played played basketball in high school, or my whole life. So
Mhm.
I did that 4 years, and I played club. Um, every day after school, I'd I'd go get shots up, or I'd be
Yeah.
lifting. There was always something. I was staying active. Let's see. I did student council my senior year. That was a little bit new for me, and
Hmm.
I went out for student council, and I won, and it was a really awesome experience for me, and that showed like some leadership, and I met a bunch of new people. Then let's see, I did research at U of A my
Hmm.
senior year as well. So I met with a professor, and I was able to get on some research. So basically, I just made an app for the research. So I was able to do some software there.
That's amazing.
And but yeah, I mean, pretty much in high school, I just did what I wanted, and I did
Yeah.
what I liked. Like it's pretty simple. Like I didn't like think about, oh well, I need to be doing this for college, or like this and that. Like I
Mhm.
just like basketball, and I like to code, and I love robotics. I love the people who are in it. So I mean, like my tip in general is just to find things that you like. I know it's so simple, and everybody says that, but
Yeah.
it's really the truth. Like if you're not doing something that you like right now, it's just not worth your time. Go home and play Xbox, or do something that you actually like, that's worth your time, or go do your homework, because in the end you need to find your passion, find what you like. And that might take some exploring to do. Like my senior year, I did student council, and I never thought I would have done student council, but it was something I ended up enjoying. So just figuring out things that you like. And in the end, like Flynn, they're like really broad in people that they choose. So you don't have to, do what I did. Just do what you want. Like Ruby, she was completely different from me in terms of everything that she did, but
Yeah.
she's awesome in her own way. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think you said it perfectly. All right. Do what you're passionate about, and it'll show,
for
right, in
sure.
all the activities that you do. How did you get so the research that you did at the U of A your senior year, was that after you submitted your Flint application or before?
No, that was before. That was a summer before my
Okay,
junior
summer
year.
before.
My
Nice.
my robotics mentor, she knew somebody at U of A, and another person in robotics. We were able to do it as high schoolers, which is I think is pretty awesome. So
Yeah. That's pretty
yeah,
incredible. And not it
thank
doesn't
you.
sound like a lot of students get that type of opportunity. So
Uh-huh.
uh, good on you, right? All right, so I'm going to read the essay prompts because I think they're the same as they were last year, and then I would love to know, like, what did you write or how did you respond to them?
Hmm.
So the first one is choose a scientific discovery or theory, a piece of writing or artistic creation that fundamentally impacted your perspective or ignited a passion in you, and explain its influence on your intellectual and career pursuits. Do you remember what you wrote about for that?
Yeah, for sure. Wait, is the prompts this year the same as ours, or no?
Yeah, they're
They're the
the same.
exact same. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the first one, I remember I read a book. It's called the Big Leap, and basically it was about how, like, when things are going like good in your life, you create like these things that bring you back down to like not where you're supposed to be. So it's like you're not like reaching your full potential, essentially. And so I talked about how in there, like my goal, here, let me see, I think I can pull it up, but basically I connected that to STEM. So my whole goal was, in the first prompt, I knew that I wanted to talk about my time in STEM. I forgot how I do it, and I can read you guys my essay, but I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up STEM. And so I talked about my time in coding and my time in robotics. And I just said that, like, like this is my passion. And so if I follow that, then I'll be able to reach my potential, which is kind of what the book was talking about. And I think I definitely I I relate to that, and see how, if you follow your passions, you'll be just doing good.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was like a weak response, but I
No, I
basically,
mean,
my whole goal was to show that something in STEM, and I felt like the first prompt was the best way to do it. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, obviously it was effective, right? So the second question was reflect on a tradition, whether it's family, cultural, or societal, that holds significance for you. Explain how this tradition has influenced your identity, your values, or your worldview.
yeah, so this one was my toughest one for sure. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, but I knew I kind of wanted to bring up something like more about myself, like not about like the things that I've done. And so I talked about what. So for Thanksgiving, my family and I, we go to Yuma, and there I'm able to connect with my family and my heritage, which is not something that I usually get to do. And especially I'm not gonna go like super into it, but I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about like myself and my family and my heritage, and through that I was able to share a bunch of stories, and I think that's kind of what hooked in the readers. Um, so yeah, I knew the three things that I definitely wanted to touch on in my essays
Mhm.
were, my time in STEM,
Yeah.
my who I am as a person, and then third for like um, something else that I want to do. So yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So yeah, the third one is some students have an interest, talent, or background or identity that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. Share your story.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
one, that was also another tough one for me, but I wanted to bring up me 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 playing basketball.
Ooh.
And so
Yeah.
I talked about how like in basketball, let's see, yeah. So I talked about wait, what did I say? Hold on, let me pull it up again.
You're good.
Um, yeah, sorry guys. Um, yeah, so I basically touched how basketball, how it created like some of the relationships in my life, with my friends, with my family,
Mhm.
and and with me. I mean, the game is tough. I rolled my ankle a couple times, and so I was out for a good while. And
Mhm.
I sometimes you're gonna have like these bad games, and I was able to touch on that, and I even made my own basketball team. I got a couple friends together, and I played in at a bunch of tournaments, and so like I coordinated with the director. So it's just like it was I was able to touch on that and touch on basketball, which is something that I really enjoy and I played my whole life. So yeah, those are the three
Yeah.
things. I play
Nice.
basketball, STEM, and then I want to talk about myself. So uh, don't model your essays after me, but find kind of those three things that you want to talk about, touch on.
Mhm.
You tell a story, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic advice. Um, knowing what you know now about the interview process, how would you prepare for them if you had to go back?
I mean, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically, like a week before, I practiced like what I was gonna say. So I reached out to some of the Flinns, and they were like really helpful.
Mm.
If for the interviews, if you get that far, your goal is to definitely reach out to some of the Flinns because they know all the questions that are going to be asked, and the questions are different for every single person, which is kind of cool. Like they like know your application, so definitely read your application, but reach out to some of the friends. And then on top of that, I think one of the strategies that I use, I looked up some of the questions online in general, and then I'd write like I'd see the question, I'd write down like a point or two, I'd write it down, and then I talk to myself or to my mom. Um, and
Mm.
so like you get that process of you hear the question, you think a little bit, and then you give your response.
Yeah.
You practice at first with the points that you want to say, and then at a certain point you don't have to write it down anymore. You just know, okay, here are the points I want to say, and then you say it. So yeah, definitely reach out to some of the Flinns, and you can practice with yourself and or with somebody that you care, because another thing that I do is like I like to talk a lot in terms of
Yeah.
like I start a thing and I start to ramble. So um keep your responses to like a minute or so, and yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
If you do those, you'll be set.
And can like when you say practice by yourself or with yourself, like are you practicing in a mirror? Are you practicing just in your head? Or are you like actually speaking out loud to somebody?
Yeah, so I practice with myself in a mirror. Like I go in the mirror and I just talk, and sometimes I like to move and this and that. And so my first round of interviews, it was on a Zoom call. And so here, yeah, you want to make sure people can see you and you're not like moving like this, and you're very still. And it's hard to show in a Zoom call like, oh, that you love what you're doing. So if you see how you react, then you can say, oh, I want to move like this, or I want to talk like this, or I notice that my shoulder moves like this. So
Yeah.
if you practice by yourself, you can see that, but it also helps to practice with someone else so that they can also notice, how long you're talking, things like that.
Sure. Sure. That makes a lot of sense. Um, okay. So outside of the financial benefit, how have you benefited from being a Flinn Scholar?
So I'd say the first thing is a network of people. I mean, it's invaluable for sure. I think when you go to U of A, there's a lot of faculty and a lot of people, but you get those connections. Like a couple weeks ago, I got to go and meet like the head of like all the departments, and for computer science, I just got to talk with the head professor, and like she was like, oh yeah, you can do this research, you can do that, and on top of that, Flinn has connections to all um, the alumni. And so I was looking through the list today, and like all the alumni, they're working at these amazing companies, and they're just awesome people. And so like I can reach out to any of them. So it's a tight community. And even though U of A is a huge campus and there's a lot of people, I can just reach out to whoever, and I have a connection to whoever. And I don't think like a lot of the high schoolers know about, what, like how 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 important it is, but it's invaluable to have those connections and to be able to do research like pretty much whenever you want. And then second is a study abroad. So I'm looking forward to my study abroad, and it's pretty much free. You get to go wherever you want, and that's something that you may not like. I've never been to like Europe or to Seoul, Korea. Like those are places that I would like to go to, and I can have that experience. Yeah, and the community as well. Like all my Flinn scholars, like I'm pretty tight with, and I can't wait for our trip over the summer, because you also get to go on a study abroad with your group. And so yeah, it's the community, it's the network, and that study abroad. You're gonna get to see the world, and it's I cannot wait. Like
Yeah.
I just really cannot wait. I
I can
feel
tell.
so special to have this opportunity. So
That's amazing. How many of the 20 from your class are at U of A? Do you know?
I think um like 12 of them
Oh, so
are
quite a
are
few
at
of
U
them.
of A. Yeah, 12 are
Wow.
at U of A, and then 8 are at ASU, I believe. None of them
Okay.
went to NAU. So
Check. Check. That's awesome. Okay. So, what's it like living in the honors college? Can you share a little bit about what that seems like, or what that's like?
yeah. So my first couple weeks were a little bit tough, because it was a big transition for me, in terms of, and like the first couple weeks, like there's like all these events, and I was just going to them, and so it kind of threw off my schedule. But now I'm settling in, and I'm finding some of these clubs. So I went to um let's see. Oh, I'm in student council, actually. I joined student council again, because I really
Wow.
loved it. And then I'm in the consulting club. I just joined that yesterday. I don't know if I want to be a consultant, but I really enjoyed the first meeting, and so definitely stick with that. And then the other day I went to like an automotive club, and they have a software team there. So I'm just trying out a bunch of different things. But I mean, I've only been here for 4 weeks. Like it feels
Yeah.
like I've been here for a while, but I've only been here for 4 weeks, and I've started to find things that I like to do. And so um, yeah, it's been a great time. I love college. I love the freedom. So it's great.
Is there anything specific with the honors college that has helped with that experience, or like
Um,
just that onboarding transition?
I think um, I think the biggest thing with the honors college is also like the network and the connections as well. Because I remember at the Flynn events, like they had all their staff there, and so like I know the dean, and let's see, like I know all the other staff who can help me out with whatever I need, and my advisor, like I already met her like way before the time. So it's just like you can, like I don't think I've taken advantage of like all the honors college has to offer, because I've only been here for 4 weeks. But I think
Yeah.
I already have that network, and I've been able to like reach out to certain people to like help me out with if I want to like meet with somebody, or there's like a certain class or a club. And also the dorms are very nice. So
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of my friends who are not at U of A and not at the honors college, that I'm not going to say whatever, but there's definitely a big difference, and I
Yeah.
really like my place. So it, it,
Check.
it does matter to me.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Right on. I think one of the things I keep hearing from you is it's all about like who you know, right? In this
Oh, for
world.
sure, for sure. It's about who you know. And I think with Flynn, it's not even about like, because like I mean all the students are like really brilliant, but it's also people who can talk about the things that they've done.
Mm.
You know, like even if you've done like the best thing in the world, but like if you can't talk about it and say how great it is, then in the end it
Right.
doesn't really matter, which is kind of rough. But I mean, that's kind of what they're looking for, and the stories that you tell, like that's a huge part of it, you know. And if you want to talk about this, then you talk about it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely the people that you know, for sure. Network,
Yeah.
huge.
And then right, how well you communicate those stories and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, it
uh,
matters. Sure.
well, that's awesome. Okay, let's get a little personal. If you weren't a Flinn scholar, which college would you be attending right now?
I'd still be going to U of A.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I know a lot of other Flinns who got into like a Stanford or Harvard, and they actually chose Flinn. So
Hmm.
I don't know if that shows anything, but I mean, I guess I'm a little bit different because like a majority of the Flinns, you know, they apply to these, you know, top schools, but I just kind of knew that I wanted to go to U of A, and I applied for like some of those scholarships. But I did apply to MIT, and I didn't get into MIT. So that was the one school that I applied out of state, and unfortunately, I didn't get in. But
Yeah.
it worked out fine. So you know, everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Seth, what haven't I asked? What else should future Flinn Scholar applicants should know?
um, let's see. Yeah. So I think one of your things when you're starting your application, like I said before, you know, there's a three prompts, and you kind of want to figure out what three things you want to touch on about yourself, you know. So I mean, I don't know what those are, but you touch on them, and then I know there's like those little small prompts.
Hmm.
And so for those, like, you can be like a little bit weird on them. Like I remember one of them was like, what was something that like you've let's see, or like what do you do, or what's something in your application that like you haven't talked about like in like 50 words. And so like I talked about how like I read a book about your breath, and I started like doing um like these breathing exercises. I know it's weird, but like it was just something that I started doing, and it was really helpful for me. And I just thought about it in the moment, and I talked about it. So like you can be a little bit weird with it, like, you know, don't be too weird, but like talk
Right.
about things that, you know, you're not thinking about. And so I think you can find those things if you like sit down with yourself and you reflect, you know, write down all the activities you've done, and think of like,
Hmm.
hey, you know, maybe I did do really good in this, or like, you know, what's a challenge that I've had in here, or like what's something like what's a hobby of mine that's actually really cool that maybe I can talk about.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I think what also helps is like you can talk to someone that you know. Because for me, like when I talk out loud and I talk about like what's going on, it really helps me think about, oh, you know, maybe this is actually something that I should write about, or
Yeah.
um, things like that. So
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, so yeah, Flinn. They choose people who have a story and goals. You know, I mean, all the people. I mean, they're really awesome. But in the end, like I remember when it was like just a finalist. Like I talked to all these students, and I thought that they were brilliant. But in the end, I think they dwindle it down to people who can tell a story, who have goals, who, you know, who've done amazing things, and can talk about it. And but in the end, you know, Flinn is not the end all be all. I think it's literally like a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's not like the end all be all. As long as you follow your heart and you do what you want, like um Flinn is just something that can really help you get to where you want to be. I think that's what I noticed, that like, you know, all these Flinn scholars that I looked at, you know, who are working at these places, they'd still be there. It's just that Flinn helped them get there, and they've had like all these opportunities. So, and I think what Flinn does a good job is like, you know, they make your experience at U of A feel like you're at like a Stanford or a Harvard. You know, it opens up all these doors to so many things, and it's like, I mean, like I said, like you can still do all these great things without Flinn, but I
Yeah.
think Flinn will just help you. Like, you know, you can do research, or I can connect to this spot. And I mean, although it's only been 4 weeks, I really look forward to taking advantage of, you know, what Flinn has to.
But we're back now. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, what do you hope to do with what you're studying?
Yeah, so I I'm a computer science major right now, but I'm definitely open to doing a lot of stuff. I think the reason I like software is because like you can make so many different things, and you can get into so many different fields. So I mean, I hopefully one day like I can have my own business. I think that's really cool. I think in robotics what I learned is that you know, when you have this one thing and this project and you work towards it every single day, like that's what's fun about it. And I think like like a business, it's the same thing. You have this project, you have this goal, and you work towards that. And so the reason I'm a computer science major is it'll challenge me in college. Like I want to think hard. Like every single time I go to class, like I need to be challenged. And then on top of that, like, if I can like learn all these skills so that, one day I can, I don't know, maybe have my own business in software or in tech, that'd be great. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really open to doing a lot of different stuff right now. And that's why I'm definitely looking at a second major. Like at Foothills, they do a great job with like all the AP credits. And so I've been able to have a lot of AP credits. So now I'm able to add a second major. So even though I'm computer science, I mean, in my next semester, I can start taking a couple of classes towards something else. So
Great.
yeah, but one thing I do want to talk about, I think
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Foothills
Please.
does do a really good job in terms of everything, honestly. And so I was kind of able to see a bunch of different things at Foothills, and through robotics, I've really met a big shout out to Miss Ackerman and to all the students there. If anybody wants to join, I think it's a great club. But then on the basketball team as well, I met a bunch of different people there. And there's a new coach, which is different. So that was like a tough transition for me. But then I joined student council. So just all these different things. And I think Foothills really has everything that you need. You just got to go seek it out.
Yeah.
And the AP credits. Oh, another thing I learned that in college, if you take math early on, it really does help you because it's harder to like learn different things in college than it is to be in high school with that teacher. So, if you can take some of those classes now, some of those harder classes, it'll make your life so much easier going forward. So don't be afraid to take those harder classes because in the end it'll pay off. And there's a lot of great teachers that can help you out. So
All right. Awesome. That's great. That's great. It's a great wrap up. Thanks so much, Seth. Really appreciate your time. Anything else that you want to share with your fellow Falcons?
no, go Falcons. Go to the basketball games. Go to all the football games. Go to the homecoming dances. Go to pep rallies. Do everything. Don't be that one guy that doesn't go to the events. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, thank you so much.